Today's deck highlight is a fun little pile of cards looking to leverage Memory Light, our new Pokemon tool that gives your evolved Pokemon access to their previous attacks. This works well with Melmetal, who previously often made you make hard decisions between whether or not you wanted to continue amassing with Meltan to get extra energy or evolve so it's less likely that your opponent's able to knock you out. Being able to keep building up towards your 4 energy heavy impact while having hard coat to protect you feels really clean in a number of games like you're going to see in today's highlight. If you like seeing off the beaten path things explored in Pokemon Pocket, make sure you're subscribed to Hooklandia Pocket here on YouTube to not miss any of it. And if you like today's deck list, make sure you smash the like button for the rest of the day. Have fun with this one. Get a feel for how the cards work. What do you watch content-wise in your own time? Usually whatever game I'm playing the most of lately. I think my longest running Twitch sub I currently have access is to Loopy Fist. He does a lot of Pocket stuff. Just seems like a general all-around good dude. Always has a pretty reasonable vibe in his channel. So long cards, hardly do ya. Does Pachirisu EX benefit from traveling merchants, or does it not really matter which tool you have? Yeah, I think Pachirisu just doesn't really care about specifics too much. Do you watch Spraggles as well? Yeah, I've watched a good bit of Spraggles content. I actually probably watch Spraggles play more Pocket even these days than I do, play Unite more these days than Pocket. Occasionally I'll get the itch and feel like I want to play Pokemon Unite, and then I'll go watch like Spraggles or Chris Hero stream for an hour or two, and I'll be like, nah, I'm not gonna do this to myself. Ooh. Oh, you know, I shouldn't have played that out. I have a communication in my deck. That was a mistake. That's what I do with League of Legends, yep. The last time I played Pokemon Unite was probably a year and a half ago at this point. And my wife and I always played that game together. And we played together and we got to Masters. And our first game in Masters, the lowest MMR person in our lobby called Absol, insta-lock center, and then inted into the opponent's backline for like a straight 10 minutes. And we just coolly and calmly turned off our switches and haven't played since. Just one of those, and that's enough of that type moments. Just peak MOBA gaming, really. I'm putting an apron over here. Explain that in Pocket terms. It really doesn't have a good Pocket comparison. Basically, the worst player on our team took the most important role and then played it in the worst way possible for the entire game. I guess a good way to explain it, even a card gamer could explain. Card gamer will understand. They called the most important spot on the team and then played it absolutely terribly. And then you just lose and there's nothing you can do, and it's just like, all right. And that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, and you gotta be willing to take those types of games if you want to play a MOBA. And my wife and I were just like, you know what? Not worth it. Hey Jeff, do you think you'd play Pocket events on Limitless in the future? Probably not. I played a bunch of tournaments for Pocket shortly after the game dropped. And just unfortunately there's not actually quite the opposite. In my experience, tournament gameplay actually performed worse than playing regular random matches, because a lot of people who consume Pokemon Pocket content feel disconnected from tournament gameplay, like it's not relevant to how they play the game. So it's making the time to play in a tournament to then have it be content that less people want to watch while also being less convenient for my schedule is just like not a mix of things that makes sense for me to do. Especially post-ladder. The tournament content performed even worse for me post-ladder. J Prime, thanks for the 15 months. Appreciate that. Welcome back. They took my tools away. When you talk about the 2-deck format from Worlds, I think multi-deck TCG tournament formats are pretty uninteresting and lame. I think games that do multi-deck tournament formats are using the multi-deck setting as a way to cover up the fact that their game doesn't have much metagame diversity. And even then, sometimes they're poorly balanced enough that that doesn't matter. Do you think that this game is based on skill and decisions, or just card diffs and then matchups? If I were to estimate it, I would say Pokemon Pocket's probably like 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, and constantly queuing into Sylveon is 50% pain. And at the end of the day, you just gotta make sure you remember Melmetal's name. He's coming for you with the heavy impact. Did we just build our own Giratina in steel? That is kind of what we did, yeah? It's 10% skill, yep. Do we really just sit there in the tank for 20 minutes and then play the perfect card? Come on now, gamer. Classic Pokemon Pocket gameplay. They have used both their EV bags, yeah, so maybe Melmetal lives here. They need to double heal the Sylveon. Let's see if they know that. Otherwise, they're dead to the Cyrus. Our Metal here letting us retreat this next turn, which is nice. Meaning if they don't have a Cyrus in their last remaining cards, We could get through them even if they take the proper line. Okay, and they messed up here, so they're dead to Cyrus. But even if they hadn't messed up, if they would have switched into the other Espeon and healed this back up, they would have still needed a Cyrus of their own. To catch us back up otherwise. Woo! I almost misclicked there. I wasn't expecting a mass at the bottom. That was pretty clean, gamers. I'm actually surprised at how few legendary dogs I've seen. Ooh, I like the opponent's deck a lot. I think Suicune with this stage 2 sounds really sweet. It's on my list of Suicune things to try for sure. Is it not Memory Jar? It's Memory something. Memory Light? Nah, it's Memory Jar. Well, that's not the one I was expecting. I wonder if they're playing both. They must be playing both, yeah. Nice 20 points of damage for 2 Energy Gamer. Nice 20 pointer. Pretty decent start here. The lack of first energy advantage again might be our death knell. One of our hopes is that they can't fill their bench, but there's 2 Pokeballs. So what's the back and forth look like? I go energy, a mass, they hit me for 70. If the potion lets me clear them, yeah? The potion lets me clear them? And then the hope is 2 Skarmories can come in and finish up after that fact. I don't know if that's gonna be the case. There's also a good chance they're on 2 copies of Cape with Pachirisu. I think, again, just because they had first energy advantage, we end up too far behind here. Maybe that's enough if we find the evolution next turn with this memory light in hand. So I have a Pokeball, a Skarmory, and the actual Melmetal, and then I have 2 researches. So five out of 8 cards get me my evolution. Oh wow, and they don't have a tool still. Okay. Oh man. Okay. We're still live if we find the Melmetal. We're five out of 8 to have our thing here. And again, like, this is a game where, like, talking about winning or losing your takeaway on a deck. This is a game where, regardless of the outcome, I look at this deck and I'm like, this was an interesting, close game. And we were on the back foot the entire time, and it's still close, right? People hyper-fixate on specific results way too much and don't take the time to think through all the things that happened or not in those games. And those details really matter when you're trying to evaluate if a deck could be good, bad, or otherwise. I don't know if this deck is ideal. Almost certainly not. Is the core here reasonable? Maybe. It's got some stuff going on. It definitely feels like. And then if they have second Cape, we have Cyrus next turn. That still wins us the game, 1 and 6. Survey says, don't misclick next turn, Jeff. Okay, all right, slow and steady. Slow. I appreciate the call out. Misclicking would have had a pretty heavy impact on the game, or maybe not. An elf enjoyer, gamer of culture. I think the mess spirit is coming for us. I actually think the #1 quality of life feature they've failed to implement in this game that's actually really detrimental and pretty unacceptable that it's not in yet. The fact that there is not a setting in the settings menu to stop the game. Like, look at this. You see how the screen zooms in when I go to do this? It is absolutely an accessibility feature, and honestly would probably improve performance on lower end devices if the game screen wasn't constantly going in and out. Big motion sickness trigger for some people I know. I think I'm setting up second Meltan here. The downside to playing it is if I draw Pokemon communication. Like getting another energy on here seems good. The animation's not pausing the timer is a different issue altogether, but yeah, that would be nice. Maybe I'm just supposed to put the Skarmory up and hit them. Very possible. Hopefully this draw has a heavy impact on the outcome of the game. Oh, you know what? I should have saved the cape. I should have saved the cape for Melmetal, right? Because Melmetal with the cape would have survived a Supreme Blast. Yeah, I should have saved the cape for this. We had other tools for here, and I was just playing it out to like reduce hand size. So I should have saved it for a full health Melmetal or held on to it for the time being. If I wanted to put a tool on here proactively, I could have put something like Memory Light. The extra sustain artifacts don't matter on this one. I guess they can't kill this next turn, right? Especially on if I Steel Apron it. So I'm gonna chill on the Skarmory for now, because again we can hit Pokemon Communication, which would let us turn the Skarmory into a Melmetal deterministically, which would be nice. So 2 copies of Melmetal in 4 cards effectively. We get to draw 2. Nice. We clear this. We get our second point, and then they can put up Mess Spirit and get their second point, but then Melmetal's ready to clean them. They could have this plus a Cyrus to finish the Melmetal, but then my Skarmory's likely run them down with no extra. Ooh, Uatu as a follow-up is spicy. That gives them an out, right? If they Cyrus the Melmetal. If they Cyrus the Melmetal, they can retreat into this, plus have one of these into Uatu set to 10. Okay, they have a series here now. But my cape misplacement could easily cost me. My last card is guaranteed Cyrus here, yeah? So we should be good. They need X speed, the Z2, and heads. Oh, this one isn't a Pokemon ability. This one needs an attack. Why was I thinking it was an attack? Is there a different Pokemon that does it with an ability? I was thinking it was an ability. No, it's because they were combining with the Typhlosion ability. My brain's bad. Cyrus is the guaranteed last one here. Close things out. It's our first full brick on that one. So long, Cosmog. I hardly knew you. If we get Candied, we're probably cooked. We could probably keep up with Candy decks with First Energy, but I think when a Candy deck has First Energy, we're just going to get run down 9 times out of 10. Ideally, we draw Memory Tool next turn so we can go Melmetal into Amass still. Alright, they ain't got it. I think I want to play around them hitting it this turn. It means I can't amass, so I'm down in energy, but my Skarmories only need 1 energy anyway, so I think being down in energy is fine here. Only 4 cards in their deck, so I assume we're getting Solgaleon here. If they don't have it this turn, still they're cooked. There's 4 cards in their deck. Like, this is the downside to playing a rare candy deck, is like they have to have their 3 cards, and if they're missing any of them, they don't get to play the game. Like our Melmetal Skarmory deck is significantly more consistent than them. Even without Sylveon, like, we just need fewer cards together. I assume this is my 3-card combo is buried Salty Disconnect here. Oh, they're back. They technically didn't run the clock all the way down. That's nice of them. I'll put this on Skarmory, so if they Mars me, I don't lose it. And that's 2 points thanks to weakness here. Gosh, I think this deck was the people, or this Solgaleo as a card was the card people were most mad about my rating on the latest EX tier list roundup that we did last week. They were so upset that I rated it low, despite it not having any competitive success this season, basically. Or last season now, I suppose. Alright, well now they're guaranteed to have it. Yeah, they have both. So this game's not over yet. We need to find our Sabrina. Even that might not be enough, yeah. Because what, they're gonna go to 170, and then I'm hitting them only for 110 down to 160, and then they're gonna swap it out. Does Giovanni matter? I don't think so. Tap it anyways, because why not? With this apron on it, this doesn't one-shot it either way. Yeah, Melmetal being able to one-shot Sylveon's a big deal, thanks to weakness, for sure. Do I have a sequence here? So I put Skarmory up. All my things being only 1 point is potentially a saving grace here. Probably starts with the research. Oh, you know what? I threw, yeah? If I would have, I could have gone, yeah, wow. Okay, so we hit it, and then I threw it. I could have metal armed this to 120, and then next turn, this would go up to 3 total with the memory jar. Yeah. Cool. That's neat. I would have, yeah, we would have, if I would have hit them with the Skarmory, we'd have had the game here. Because I'd have still, I can't attack with this turn anyways. I can't attack with this turn anyways, and I still would have been able to attack with it the following turn. I suppose if we top deck Cyrus, we still cook them. 20% for that? Is there justice in the world? There's not, so we should draw it, yeah? Rats. I would say unlucky, but in actuality I threw. GG opponent. Close, interesting game. Another one where memory jar really would have mattered.